In case you're new here, let's bring you up to speed on what's been happening so far. So, I'm Tommy Day, and this is my wife, Kalpa. We've been married for nearly 2 years and recently made our first visit to Chennai together. Now, this was a big deal for 3 main reasons. For starters, Kalpa hadn't seen her parents for over 5 years. We recently did a video on this you should definitely check out, and be warned, you'll probably cry. Secondly, we're pregnant and expecting our first child later on this year. And lastly, this is my very first time in India. Now, one of my goals for this trip, besides connecting with my family and catching up, was to truly understand what it means to be from Chennai. And what better way to do that than with food? Now, my wife has done quite a good job bringing me up to speed with the culture. She's introduced me to everything from sambar, dosa, vada, curd rice, and the art of eating on a banana leaf. So for today's adventure, we're turning things up a notch. We'll be going to the heart of the city to give me one of the most authentic onboardings into Tamil culture. Today, we're going to try South Indian Tamil Thali. With all of our adventures, we always have to find time for our coffee break.
We're at a coffee shop. Tom is cooling his coffee the south way. Cool the coffee. Do you like it?
I like it. I like the fact that coffee is imported.
Yeah. It's the fuel for the day.
With the guidance of our Amma, we decided to try today's meal in a popular restaurant in town. We're just getting started. Alright, pause guys. This is not thali. This is actually paneer curry, and we had this with some beautiful butter naan. Now, this is what my wife and mother-in-law ordered. But if you're unfamiliar with the term thali, you're probably wondering what it is. Well, I'm here to break it down. So, thali is basically an Indian-style meal that's made up of a variety of dishes. The exact components of the dish vary across states, but what all of them have in common is that rice or roti act as a central part of the dish. What made this the best meal to start with on this trip was the fact that a thali allows you to taste the diversity of South Indian cuisine in one meal and on one plate. Or more accurately, a banana leaf, because that's how it's taken here in the South. As I learned before coming here, there's a method and style to eating a thali, and one of the most important ones is that there's only one way to eat it: with your hands. Okay, wow. Alright, so this right here, this is the South Indian Tamil Thali. And on my leaf, we have some sambar, kuramba, korma, gobi, yogurt, green chutney, kesari, avial, beetroot, and some rasam. So I started off by trying to understand exactly what I was getting myself into, and my amma and wife were very helpful explaining what each element was. All that was left was for the games to begin with the arrival of rice. Our amma, however, noticed that the banana leaf I was given was slightly torn, so it wasn't fit for consumption. So after switching the leaves, it was time to get down to business. I had learned prior that the first thing to do is split your rice. This is, I guess, a way of ensuring you can control how you distribute each condiment, or probably how you ensure you don't overeat. Either way, it comes in very handy when trying to eat a thali. Now, so much was happening, I was getting slightly confused and nervous because I really wanted to do this right. The next few minutes felt like I was about to enter the most serious exam of my life because I was constantly asking questions like my life depended on it.
So I can pour any of these ones I want. I finish this this without anything. I can put any of them. Should I dip it or pour it?
Right.
Right, so what do you suggest I add now?
After about 1,000 questions, I was a bit more confident about demolishing this thali, but ever so often my amma would intervene, giving me ideas on the best ways to spice up the meal. I also found things I liked, so amma made sure more came my way. And since they all need rice, a refill was soon overdue.
What you about to do?
So while my wife and amma were having a completely different experience, things were getting a bit tougher on my side.
Is it chilly?
Not really. A lot is happening.
You're full? Are you full yet?
We have this much space.
In all fairness, I was really enjoying the gobi and kurma, and also I had to end the meal with some curd. To wrap up my thali journey, I ended it with some kesari, which was one of my highlights of the meal.
This is really nice. This is like a meal you take before war. Soldiers before the war. It's like that type of meal you take. There's nothing to eat afterwards.
Now, this restaurant's thali was great. It was even more awesome it ended with ice cream, but do you know what's better than this thali? The ones that we ate with family. One thing I noticed about this trip is that every time we reunited with a family member and paid a visit to someone's home, this meal was always part of the welcoming. It was always delicious and it really felt like home. You see, in the restaurant, the waiter stands observing to see if you need a rice refill, but at home, it's one of our family members watching out to see if we need any more rice, sambar, or chutney to ensure the meal is pleasant. This meal isn't exactly had every day. It's actually one of those meals that are brought out on special occasions, and well, I'm blessed that we got a chance to experience many of those. If you ever have the opportunity to go to Chennai, I definitely recommend trying thali at a restaurant because it will be great. But if you're lucky enough to be invited into someone's home to eat the same thing, it might just be the best meal you've ever had. Until our next adventure in Chennai, see you soon.